guys, well, what an opening to my session over at Blackthorn Fisheries. We arrived yesterday with the KUMU lads, yeah, don't really know a lot about the lake, if I'm honest, apart from it's very clayey, not much weed. So yeah, and we're with the wife as well, which is nice, and we've ended up in the North Lodge. Anyway, led a bit of a lead around and landed pretty much on a rock hard spot, little pullback gravel, about 5 foot, so more than happy to do that. So I put a spreader bait on that, and a bloodburn wafter, and here's the results this morning at 24.6. A man across the way, he's in the South Lodge, he's had 2 as well, a 17 and a 12. So yeah, the fish are definitely on the feed. So yeah, made up with it, really made up. So I'll flip it over and show you the side. Right, well, this is an absolute stunning fish. Well made up with it. Literally fought really well. Yeah, we've seen them in the middle, sort of fizzing and showing this morning. So yeah, just really made up to get off the mark. So hopefully there's more to come on our session. We've got 3 nights. So yeah, let the good times roll.
Wait until you see this one. Absolutely unreal. The scale pattern on that. It's got to be one of the nicest fish I've ever caught. It took me by surprise when I saw it bob up in the margins. I actually thought it was a small fish. I've been on pest control the last 24 hours. I had a 17 yesterday just after we got here. I had a 12 pounder this morning, but I think the average stamp of this lake is about 25 pounds, so I was quite unlucky to get a couple of smaller ones. And so when I first lifted into this one, I thought it was another small one, until I got it onto the rod tip and it tore off about 40 yards down the margin. Didn't think it was going to be as big as this, but it's gone 28.10. So absolutely stunning fish. So we're down on Blackthorn Fishery in Oswestry. Got a lake exclusive for 72 hours. And I think it's safe to say it's got off to a good start. Right, I'm going to get this one back, and it's time for a barbecue soon.
Right guys, well I thought I'd just give you a bit of an update on where we're at so far. Like I said before, we came yesterday and we've got the lake obviously to ourselves. We've got all the areas of the lake covered. Me and Steve, obviously I'm in the North Lodge, Steve's in the South Lodge, Dave's in the other bay, we've got Steve in this bay and we've got Wooly over there. So yeah, there's fish showing all over the lake, not just one particular part. And I think, a couple of weeks the lad had a decent hit out of here, I think the 2 of the 40s came out. I think he went a bit quiet, but yeah, there's been a trickle of fish out, which is good. So yeah, really in front of me, like I said before, I didn't really know what was in front. I thought it was all pretty much clay. So I'm obviously finding that little bit of a gravelly spot. Yeah, I was pretty chuffed with that, to be fair. I thought, it's run for a winner here. Obviously on my arrival, Steve had come here first in the cabin to my left. And you said that obviously there's a marker which sort of is his boundary. And the fish had obviously been using that as a bit of a rub-in and it was going under, so we knew the fish weren't that far away. And I've got a bay to my right hand side as well. So in the area where I wanted to sort of target, where I thought fish would probably come past, that's where I obviously started markering up and found this spot. Now bait wise, I've just obviously gone with what I used at Gold Lake a couple of weeks ago, which was the Pacific tuna, chops with bloodworm pellet. And then I used the noodle rig with the bloodworm wafter over the top, glugged in the L030. Now I've put probably about 8 spods last night, sort of in a line, because my original plan was just to fish 3 rods in that line on that sort of gravelly area, and then just see if I saw any fish showing near the margins, and then I'd fish sort of that approach, so rather than spreading bait everywhere. That was my plan. So yeah, so I started there last night, and then fish did start to show in the bay to my right hand side rather. Now I can't fish to them because they're cut off by the island, but there is sort of a dead tree, and Charlie came round last night and said, you know, there's sort of a spot around about 13.5 wraps ish, and then by the time I'd sort of got my head together, it was dark, so I thought, well, rather than putting them all 3 in that as a one zone, why not have one over there, see if I can sort of tear one of these fish that are coming out from this bay. So I have got my right hand rod on the dead tree at 13.5 wraps, so I went round, sprayed some buoys around that, and I've got a hinge stiff on that one with a white Pacific tuna. So that's where we're at. Obviously that fish was my last one this morning. I left it an hour and a half, because I still had 2, same bait, same approach, literally about, I don't know, about a metre apart from each other. So I still left it, got the other one, but obviously back out after that fish. But yeah, I just thought with the fizzing, and probably, you know, there's probably more than one fish there, they probably cleaned it out. So I thought, a bit more bait on, see if we can get another bite this morning. It's been a bit quiet. Steve, on the other hand, obviously like you've seen before, he's had that absolute gorgeous scaly mirror. I can't even tell you how perfect them scales were. It was as if someone, it's like, you know, you've seen these pictures where mirror image and stuff like that. It was literally perfect. Every single scale was like boom, 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 perfectly in line. And yeah, stunning fish. And coming in at 28.10, the fish are getting bigger. So yeah, so on for this afternoon now. So we're gonna have a barbecue this afternoon. So I'm gonna reel these in, put a bit more bait out, not too much, probably about maybe 3 or 4 spods over the top. And then obviously when we're getting after the barbecue, I'll just flick them out quickly and see if I can get one in the night. But at the moment it seems to be all day bites. So yeah, so if you don't hear from me later, I'll catch up with you in the morning.
Seems to just keep getting better and better. We all reeled in for a lovely barbecue last night, and it was like someone had flipped the switch. No lines in the water. They started showing like crazy. We probably counted, I don't know, 50 shows in the space of an hour or so. We just couldn't wait to get back to the swims. To be honest, I'm quite surprised any of us didn't have anything last night, but it's taken till 5 o'clock this morning. But it's been worth the wait, as I'm sure you can see. Absolutely lovely. Another heavily scaled mirror. This one's gone 26.10, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, unbelievable. Another gorgeous fish from Blackthorn. And it's a completely different day today. It looks spot on for another bite, so I'm gonna get another solid bag tied up and get it back out on the spot. I thought Steve was literally done about 10 minutes just before I had this one, so they're obviously on the bait. We're probably only about 30 yards behind each other, probably on the same sort of plateau. So yeah, they're obviously on the bait. There's been a couple of fish showing while I was playing this one, so yeah, fingers crossed, it's time for another one.
guys, and what a morning it has been. Literally, I knew this weather was going to change today and it's southwesterly coming in, so we put a bit of bait out before the barbecue last night. And the fish, in true fashion, started showing when no lines were in the water, in the middle and into the far bay. Last night was pretty quiet, nothing happened at all. Got first light this morning and seen some sort of fish activity in the middle area. The right hand rod, then suddenly one beep, I heard the rod, saw the rod tip yank up, but yeah, I just saw the massive vortex going away, so the fish did me. So I was a little bit disheartened about that, if I'm honest. But 10 minutes after that, my main man across the way, Steve, he's into a fish. So obviously there was a pod of fish in that zone, and he got his in, landed it, which you saw before, which is an awesome fish. And then yeah, literally just seen them fizzing, showing subtle shines over the bait again. And the middle one that ripped off, which is slightly bigger than this one. We've got it in the net, we've not weighed it yet. And then literally Steve's just come round to help me with that one, and the right hander, which has just changed over by this bay, has this big drop back, and this is the result. It's coming at 27.12, which is, yeah, I'm made up with it. But I can't wait to get this one out as well now to just see what that one's about. But yeah, we'll slip this one back and we'll show you the other one. Well, we did say that the other one was a slightly bit bigger. We've weighed this one in and it's come in at 37 dead. Now, saying I'm made up is an understatement. The fish have actually been getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Now, obviously the fish are clearly on the bait because they've been pooing it out on Steve's mat, so we knew the baiting strategy was working. Yeah, and literally now with this weather pumping into this bay, right into our face now, yeah, my confidence is through the roof. So yeah, really made up. Again, still on the same presentation, then bloodworm wafters on that noodle rig, which I'll show you in more detail later on. But yeah, literally I am blown away. But I'll flip it around and show you the inside. There you have it. What a stunning creature. And to be fair, shell was there as well, because it nipped one pearl one, it got caught up on my left hand line, but teamwork, and yeah, we got it in. So obviously brought me a bit of luck this trip, so she'll have to come more often. So we'll get her back now, and I'll go for everything else later on. See you later. Join me in our final evening over at the Blackthorn Fishery, and really, you know, today's just been the icing of the cake for me, with that 37 mirror, which is now my PB mirror, which Charlie is known as I think it's Jack's fish, I think it is, a male. So yeah, you know, probably next year that'd be another 40 probably in this lake. So you know, the stamp of fish is unbelievable. I think there might be 3 40s potentially at the moment, maybe 4. And a load of 30s. So yeah, he's really running the place. Top notch, mate. Top notch guy. So yeah, so literally about 2 o'clock, just reeled him in. I've put a bit more bait out now. I've had to take my wife home because she's got work tomorrow, and I've come back again. So I've rested the swim for 2 hours, done some more rigs, and got him back on the money. So yeah, it's looking good for a bite. The actual fish have now moved into the bay to the left where the other mate Steve's in, so hopefully he can snare one before we leave today. and he did say obviously that the other rod I've got onto my right hand side, just near the island. He's seen a couple of fish bosh out on the bait I put in there before I left. So I still think there's time yet for maybe even something more special to come out. I've got a feeling either out me or one of the lads, I'm sure we're going to get something else out. And on plus the fact, on my arrival, Steve's just managed to get another common out, which was £20. Actually, the shoulders on it were immense, so that's going to be one for the future. But yeah, I'm just going to, at the moment, I'm just going to take everything in, enjoy the last evening, and if I have anything else for the night, I'll speak to you tomorrow.
Saying this trip, but this is fish number 6. So Blackthorn really isn't a runs water, so I don't take this for granted. It's just been an unbelievable session. I lost track of where I'm up to really. I had another one yesterday, 26, and this one just the first like this morning. This one's gone 27, 13. Another absolutely gorgeous fish. So they started going absolutely crazy last night. Like, I lost count of the amount of shows that we were seeing last night. So active, and it was just bound to happen really. So Steve over the way, he had a 33 this morning, pretty much the same time I had this, so we've still got a few hours left this morning, so fingers crossed the time for another one as well, but so can't ask for any more. Over the moon.
This is the final morning now over at Blackthorn Fishery. I got woke this morning about 4:30, and Steve again had put another one to his tally. I think he's had 6 now so far. A lovely 27 mirror. So yeah, he's fished really well, Steve. It's all on that reeds. We've seen the reeds knock in stuff, and I think they got whites to sort of an area where he'd been had a few off, so he's just dropped short of it again. And he's kept them catches coming on, so I think he's still got more time yet. He's popped it back out, so knowing Steve, he'll probably have another one before we have to go at 10. And Steve Adcock in my left bay, literally he's been pulling his hair out because these fish are riggy. There's no two ways about that, and he's tried everything on them, and eventually he's got rewarded this morning with a cracking mirror. I think it was 33. So yeah, so he's over the moon with that. He's made his trip, he's not blanked. Unfortunately, Wooly on the other hand, on the other side, again he had fish on him. He just could not get a bite out of him. But he's a good angler and he will be back, and I'm sure he'll have it off. But like I say, last night was quite quiet. The bites have all been coming in the day to us here. So I've got a couple more hours to go. So I am seeing fish on top of me as well, so yeah, it's looking good for hopefully one more before we have to go. But I thought I'd quickly show you the rig that I've been using. This was the actual one. I caught that 37 on, and literally it's what I always use pretty much. It's the noodle rig with a balanced wafter on. These obviously I've got the bloodworm on this one, but in the bay I put a airball pop-up whittle down. On the same sort of thing really, on the noodle. So I think with this session I just thought I did have a white one on, but I don't know, they just seem to be maybe a bit too blatant in the pop-up. I mean, everything seems to be coming off the deck. Little whittled down baits seem to have been doing the bite, and Steve's been doing exactly the same with his solid bag presentation. He has spotted a few bit of bait out in the middle, but he's just constantly done solid bags, and Steve had I think he changed over to a solid bag, and that's what's done him the fish this morning. So yeah, really made up with the trip really. I think everyone on the lakes enjoyed themselves with the barbecue. The venue itself is stunning. and the stock of the lake is absolutely awesome, and it's only going to get better. So if I don't have anything else to show you, I hope you've enjoyed this short diary piece that I've put together, and I will catch you on the bank sometime. Well, there we go, last knockings. We've seen one free willy out right over the left hand spot, and I thought it was only a matter of time, to be fair. The wind just died down, you can see the dark shapes under the water off the point, and the fish have just literally followed this wind now into this bay, and it was sort of set on your hands, and I was just hoping I'd get the results at the yeah, before I had to go home. Yeah, really hard fighting fish, and it's coming at 24, so yeah, I just made up with this session. I think everyone on the lake has fished the tits off. I'd just like to say thanks to Charlie and the boys for having us down here at Blackthorn Fishery. So yeah, we'll slip this one back, and I'll see you in the bank sometime.